come back.
Well, the good thing is I
Take
can
two.
be more concise.
Yes. Conciseness is good, if that's a word. Conciseness. Anyway.
Concisosity.
Yes. Well, for those of you who may have been watching for the last half an hour live, which probably wasn't very many, sorry about that. We had no microphone, so we have addressed that issue, and we are now really going live with our show, Minerals Live. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be our Tucson show recap, and here we go.
2022 was a great year at the Tucson show, and we have a photo on that beginning of all of the hard-working crew that was down there from the Collector's Edge Minerals in Golden, Colorado.
Right.
And so thanks to everybody who worked exceedingly hard to make the show a success this year.
It was a great...
And for the past 22 years, right there in the center.
Absolutely. We didn't mention the first time around, but this is your last Tucson show.
That was my last Tucson show with the Collector's Edge Minerals, and I was thrilled to be able to work in association with all of you folks for so many years. It was a real treat to be down there once again and seeing everybody in Tucson.
Right.
And we had some great times.
We did have a great time.
We had a brand new facility open up, and it turned out amazing. Called the Tucson Fine Mineral Gallery. It's at the corner of Granada and St. Mary's, and it's the place for fine minerals now in Tucson, Arizona.
Absolutely.
Kind of one-stop shopping there. You got fine mineral galleries, you've got displays, you've got lectures, you've got incredible food, everything you could want.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it really is. And all of the dealers that were there, as well as the people who put in private exhibits at that location, they just went over the top. Ian Bruce should be lauded for acquiring the building and building it out in such an elegant fashion. And all of the dealers brought their very finest mineral specimens out to be displayed. It was a killer show. And all over town, there were some great minerals. It was well attended.
Right.
Dealer-to-dealer action in the city was really strong. Our wholesale and Keystone sales were record-setting down there in Tucson this year. And the mineral collector attendance seemed down. In some cases, people were estimating by as much as 40 or 50% down. But you have to look at it and say, well, international travelers from our many customers and friends in China and in Europe were unable to get over to the show this year.
Right.
And then with COVID going on in the country, a number of domestic travelers, collectors decided, gee, I'm just not going to come this year. But you could tell the show was really on a rebound, and there were a lot of really good minerals to be seen and a lot of collectors in town. We had a great time.
Absolutely. We were able to give special attention to everybody who did attend.
That's right.
Yep. And it was a good time. We take you on a little walkthrough of our space at the Fine Mineral Gallery. As you came in the door, you were like hit in the face with these two cases. Pretty nice pieces.
Spectacular worldwide tourmalines there.
Yep. From all around the world, like Christopher said, really nice things. And then right next to it, a barrel case.
And it's really hard to get a feel for the scale of these pieces. But some of those tourmaline groups were nearly 2 feet tall, and then the burls were up to about 1.5 feet. So
even that emerald in the middle, emerald and matrix together, about the size of your fist.
Yeah, it was an amazing display at the Collector's Edge at the Tucson Fine Mineral Gallery.
Yep. Some little video clips of the booth I can run here. The barrel case. Sorry about the glare on the glass, but Christopher kept the glass really clean.
We aren't seeing fingerprints.
No fingerprints.
Some heliodors down on the far end.
Yep. So it was quite the presentation. Everybody came in and were just awestruck over these 2 cases.
Yeah, Richard laid those cases out, and he put all the barrels in one case. So you had aquamarine and emerald, morganite, and heliodor, all as world-class specimens in one case.
Yep.
And then the next case over was world-class tourmalines from all over, localities all around the globe, from Russia to Brazil. Just amazing things.
Yep. And then off to the left, there were a couple of golds and some of these blue tourmaline things.
Yeah.
Blue tourmalines? Did you mean the Pariba? Not the Pariba-like, not the
Not
Cuprians, the actual legit Paribas?
Yeah.
That was a showstopper.
And one of my favorite things the entire show was both the day we got everything set up before we'd even opened. Another dealer came in to say hi, walked in the room, and then just head snapped to the left and went, "Oh, wow!" And it's like, that's what we're going for.
There you go.
Yeah, most of the production worldwide of the Paraiba gemstones, which are perhaps the world's most popular colored gemstone, and certainly tourmaline, vibrant, almost turquoise color blue tourmalines. They're seldom seen in mineral specimens because most all of the rough is either cut into spectacular faceted stones or cabochons or other types of gem material. And so these pieces were actually collected in 2004, but had never been prepared as mineral specimens. So the mine owners and subsequently the Collector's Edge Minerals helped with making these into great mineral specimens. They were extremely popular during the show. We sold a number of them, and it was great to have the acclaim for what will continue to be a really fine product from the Collector's Edge. We have a nice relationship built with the mine owners at the Brazil Paraiba mine, and there's only 5 locations on planet Earth that produce these copper-bearing tourmalines with this really vibrant blue color. So it's kind of fun to be able to offer these to the collecting public, and so far it's a pretty limited number that are out there.
Right. Yeah. They're beautiful. And then we have a little scan of the rest of the room. We don't want to just concentrate on the stuff. We had very nice... Oops, wrong one. Oh,
Because you're not in the way.
There we go.
At all.
Come on. Do I need
That's
it? There we go.
barite, plumbogumite, and copper there on the bottom. Those were all absolutely magnificent. Then the rest of the production of the Elk Creek barites from this past year.
Yep. Quite a display.
On into some Congo tourmalines on the top, and Afghanistan aragonites with that bright blue on the bottom, and plenty of browsing to be had throughout the whole room.
Absolutely. Pretty killer stuff here. And one of my favorite shelves at the show. Some really nice things there. Red Cloud, that's stibnite. I think you particularly like that one.
Yeah, it's a great group. Beautiful scheelite and Chinese pyromorphite. Great classics from China.
Yep. Really nice things. So we definitely had a good time at the Tucson Fine Mineral Gallery. Like Christopher said, we had some good food there.
Yes.
Good food. There were great displays outside as well. So once you
Absolutely.
came in, not just, the galleries to look around, the Spans put out a incredible spread, although the food's on the backside.
Right.
The
Out
cheese
in the courtyard.
calcite was on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
backside
right.
there. But, some absolutely amazing specimens. One of my favorites, dead center there, you can see what is now, I think, being referred to more as the gummy worm.
Right.
Rhodochrosite there in the middle. Gail
Mexico,
had done a little
Pyrite.
did a little meme of that with gummy worms online. It was just cute, and it really fits right in with gummy worms.
Cool.
The Sperry light that was on there was probably one of the coolest things I saw during the entire show. Wasn't a variety I was familiar with, and just absolutely was entranced by that piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Gene Myron put in a beautiful case of silvers there.
Yes, he did.
For about a week. And
And this was in association with, I think, a Zoom lecture that Gene did on silver minerals. So that was great that he put a few of his world-class silver specimens, and I think all of those were from Kongsberg, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, every one.
So there were some world-class silvers there as well. And the spans and Gene Myron should really be lauded for putting these special exhibits in. So not everything at the Tucson Mineral Gallery had a price tag on it.
Right.
There were things you could come listen to at the lecture series that were there, and to see some incredible specimens out of private collections that were there just as eye candy for people to really enjoy. And there were some world-class pieces in both the Jim and Gail Spann's case and Gene Myron's case.
And if you don't make it in time for one of the lectures, or it's just not your day for that, I'm sure you can find somebody in one of the galleries to talk to you about some specimens for a minute or two.
Yeah, probably. There were several nice ones.
Yes.
Anyway, see if I can. There we go. And Steve was giving a talk on the metaphysical properties of Ilvite.
Yeah,
Looked like he was having a seizure there. I don't know.
Yes, I didn't realize quite how strong the metaphysical properties of Ilvite are.
Right.
And so it had a great effect on me, and I'm not sure whether this is my best look, but I'll choose a different species the next time.
Well, what frightens me is that was what was left over after our was cleansed.
Yeah.
Yes. And it wasn't all about us at the Tucson Fine Mineral Gallery. There was this little walkthrough, it'll re-loop here in a second, of our friends at the Sun Gemstone building, wholesale. And
these guys
Craig and Jennifer and George and Zach, Alan, the whole team over there did a great job.
Yeah, and they were slammed the whole time.
Yep.
Dealer-to-dealer sales in Tucson were huge this year. I think we set records in our Keystone and our wholesale locations. Really, really strong sales with gift shop owners and internet dealers restocking their inventory for too. And it's a good thing to see. It means commerce is going on, and people are loving natural history items like the fine mineral specimens that Collector's Edge sells.
Right, and
so it's great.
We had everything from thumbnail-sized topaz all the way up to about a 1-ton bonitolite and matrix specimen.
And that sold, folks.
Yes, it did.
Yep. Somebody who likes big rocks bought that guy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, our hats go off to the guys over at wholesale. They're down there for a month. This is
really
a month
tough.
ordeal for them.
It's really tough. And we didn't have any pictures queued up of the Mineral City location, but it's booming. There's over 120 dealers there carrying fine mineral specimens at Mineral City. They got plans to expand next year. Building C, I understand, is going to be enlarged. And I understand that Rob Levinsky, Arkenstone, is completing a building for next year's show, and there'll be other dealers in his building as well. And they're going to jointly advertise for that Lester and Plata Street several block area for next year. And it'll be continuing to grow.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the things I really liked about Mineral City, too, was the fact that, I'm over at the gallery all day, so I didn't get a chance to really go out and do as much as I used to be able to do in Tucson. But a lot of the times they'd be doing special events or an open house or something, so you could pop over to Mineral City after 6 o'clock, and you have a chance of finding at least half a dozen or maybe even a lot more vendors still open, ready to show you some fine minerals.
That's great.
Tucson of old.
Yeah.
So it's really wonderful how after the COVID period now things are really picking up, and Tucson is on the mend and looking forward to great things in 2023.
And as you mentioned, Sandra's tent,
yes,
down there, her tent show, the Executive Inn, or not Executive Inn, the Hotel Tucson City Center is talking about reopening again next year. And it could be crazy back again in 2023. So you'll definitely want to come down
in a short area.
And Dave Wasteman's show up at Westward Look continued again this year. And while it was a little bit smaller, there still were some great dealers up there, and they had a great show at the Westward Look as well. So things are popping. I think you should make your plans for the 2023 show.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be huge show next year.
Absolutely. And of course, there was the main show that went off again this year after a 1-year hiatus. It was pretty good. It was the show that glowed.
Yep. Appetite Supergroup as well. With the show that glows, kind of the holdover from 2021 not being able to do the fluorescent theme, but they had that entire room in the back, and it was a very, very large display.
That looks
was
stunning.
Magnificent. It was just a treat to walk through there.
And your eyes are okay.
Oh, yes.
To wear glasses?
I did, and I do have UV blockers on my glasses.
Good. But the main show floor definitely took a new look this year. A little more open, the layout.
Yeah, there was a lot more representation of jewelry and lapidary there this year than I was used to seeing. Still plenty of great minerals to find there, and a lot of great familiar faces to see. In the middle, I don't think you can really see it here well, but I'm not sure if it's that. No, that's a bench there, but towards the middle of the display area, Bridger and his dad, the little fella who saved his sister from the dog attack, came out and were set up just to thank people who had given them mineral specimens. Bridger had mentioned that he liked mineral specimens, and they were expecting photographs. They received over 3,000 mineral specimens, and they set up there simply because a lot of people donated them anonymously to just thank people for
That's awesome.
That was nice.
Right. Absolutely. And of course, we need to give a shout out to one of our co-workers who put in a couple cases, and one of them happened to win the Paul Desautel's Award.
a lot of great rocks.
Phil Gregory put in a fantastic case of miniatures from worldwide locations. Phil has been collecting minerals for longer than most of us have been alive. But and he's got superb taste. And he assembled a group of really worthy miniature-sized mineral specimens that won the Paul Desautel's Award for the finest display of rocks at the show. So he should be very proud to win that. I don't know if he's won that before. Did he win it? I don't think once as a younger man?
I don't think so.
I know he used to exhibit, but I don't know if at the time it probably was the McDole Trophy. But if it's a first, congratulations to him, because it was a killer case of minerals.
Absolutely. And then there was a second case of minerals as well, some thumbnail toenails that he put in. Which very nicely done.
Funny, because I took a picture of this case and I didn't even realize it was also Phil's. I just really, really liked it. So
gotcha. He does a good job. And Barry Kidd put in a appetite for best of species, and I believe you won with that.
Man, that is cool.
For the show theme, an amazing Portugal piece.
Yeah, beautiful Panasquero Portugal, purple apatite on quartz. Super aesthetic, and the Collector's Edge was lucky to have been the source for that piece, and we thank Barry for his continued patronage of the Collector's Edge.
Right, absolutely. And Gene moved his display over and expanded it a little bit at the main show. His silvers, a beautiful display from the Rice Museum. Yeah, very nice. And then a little ringer thrown in by our coworker Christopher Clark here.
I am easily distracted by bolo ties.
Isn't that something? And our mining attorney has told us that the bolo tie is the official state tie of the state of Arizona.
That's right. No disrespect.
We can't do a disrespect to bolo ties.
Well, and that was one of my favorite purchases at the show. We did a little bit of filming with Jewelry Television, so I picked up a new bolo tie when we did our Who Can Spend $300 Better in Tucson. No comments. And then we also laid out $3 million worth of specimens on the table to show as well. So look for that. Probably drop here in about a month or so on the gemstones.com channel on YouTube. Both of those videos will be up there probably not too long.
It's really nice to have Christopher joining us on the Minerals Live broadcast these days. days, because one of the reasons I think people really, I'm going to be retiring at the end of April, and Christopher's going to be sharing our minerals with a number of our customers east of Colorado. And it's nice for them to identify Christopher with something they can remember. Oh, he's the guy with the bolo ties.
Guy,
So it's good that he's advertising with the bolo ties here on Minerals Live.
And there were a few more nice displays at the main show. The Spans always put it in a beautiful case.
That's fantastic.
Are you hungry for appetites?
Yes. Try to give you a kind of a close-up of some of the things in there. It certainly was colorful.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
And thanks to everybody who goes out of their way to haul all of these mineral specimens from the safety of their home across the country to display for the general public at the Tucson Mineral Show. It takes a lot of effort, and it's a lot of expense. And I think people like Gail and Jim Spann and Gene Myron and others who contribute their time and effort and money to present these to the public should be lauded for their efference.
Especially with a display like this, because these aren't barrels or corundums.
No,
these are like
they're delicate.
apatites and paramorphites and
Yep.
nadenites.
Yeah, bless their hearts.
Yep. And, of course, the Young Minerals Collectors Group was well represented again this year.
Yeah, I always love their displays because everything, most of the young mineral collectors have actually been collecting longer than me, but I'm not a young mineral collector. I'm just a newer mineral collector. But it's amazing the enthusiasm, seeing what it is that, they're excited by. Always great displays from the young mineral collectors.
And I'm so thrilled that this group has come together and is so active, because there was a time a couple decades ago where the aging of a lot of the mineral collectors who came into the hobby in the 70s and 80s, people were looking around and saying, well, is this hobby going to continue? And the rise of the internet has brought minerals and mineral specimens into everybody's home. If you have an interest in minerals, you can find beautiful pictures on Pinterest and elsewhere around the internet. You can get hooked on the beauty of these mineral crystal specimens or the educational interest. Somebody like Phil Pershon probably wouldn't like the beauty of the minerals and aesthetics, but if they're gray and ugly and have an interesting chemical formula, and you might want to collect those too. So anyway. The amazing thing about it is I see the market is dramatically expanding, and it's brought in people from all different interest groups, but especially the younger participants that are actively collecting not only the unusual and inexpensive, but super rare and super fine mineral specimens that they're acquiring. And so my hat's off to everybody who has entered in over the last decade or so into mineral collecting. And the Young Mineral Collectors Group is to be lauded for coming together and putting cases in at the shows. It's just great to see. I'm really happy with it.
Absolutely. And somebody, I'm not too sure who, put in this wonderful case of Smithsonite.
Isn't that pretty? That's a lovely case.
Really well done.
Yes.
Really well done. And then Will Larson and Kyle Kevorkian put in a great case of miniatures.
Well, and Kyle's, both of those guys are somebody that you could chalk up into the younger mineral collectors.
It's true. I think they are both members of the group.
Really quite the connoisseurs of fine mineral specimens.
Have a great eye for just not only a fine mineral specimen, also some really great unusual pieces too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would have loved to have had Alan Knox on our show today, but unfortunately his head got bit off by a Tyrannosaurus Rex at the show. So
always a danger.
It is. It is. You got to watch out for these things.
But you can see him on Instagram almost every day,
Absolutely.
showing mineral specimens to social media customers. And I tell you what, he has built a really strong following. And he is now up to almost every day giving some sort of mineral presentation on Instagram. I think you get there by Collector's
Collector's
Edge
Edge,
Minerals.
all one word. Yeah.
All one word. And, of course, that's beyond me. The technological aspects of Instagram are well beyond me.
Right.
But you can at least be roped into coming and giving a talk on Instagram, especially on Rhodochrosite.
Yeah,
Right.
yesterday we did an hour-long program on 4 major localities for rhodochrosite. And the beauty of Instagram is, and the way Alan puts his shows together, not only does he share some information about mineral topics with you, but he sells a ton of mineral specimens on Instagram. And like yesterday's show, I think he had somewhere around 40 minerals for sale.
Right.
There's that episode that was on live yesterday. It is recorded, and you can go to Instagram and see it. And some of those specimens are still available for sale. So you've got some time to go out to Instagram and shop with Alan Knox on Instagram.
Absolutely. And speaking of shopping,
Yeah,
you want to sell
We
a couple
should.
rocks today?
let's do that.
Well, okay. Specimen number 1.
We're starting with an Ettringite
Yes.
with calcite from the Schwanning 2 mine in South Africa. And we talked about the Schwanning 2 mine on the Instagram Live yesterday, and it's amazing. They're pulling this black manganese-rich ore out of the ground all over the Kalahari Manganese District. But incredibly, some of the associated species with this absolute jet black rock are some of the more vibrant in the mineral kingdom. You have beautiful Scalenahedral rhodochrosite, cherry red rhodochrosite from the Schwanning mine, and also this beautiful yellow and big Ettringite crystal, yellow color, none of the manganese wad looking association. It's on some calcite with a little bit of quartz, and a huge Ettringite crystal. What's the size of this, Rich?
Overall, the piece is 8.2 by 4.5 by 3.8 centimeters.
And this has some nice provenance with it. It came out of the Uli and Anka Bauman collection from Johannesburg, South Africa. And we acquired their collection a number of years ago, and they had 19,000 mineral specimens in the collection.
Right.
And this was one of the top Ettringite species, examples of the species from their collection. Just a beautiful specimen.
Absolutely.
And what are you asking for this today, Rich?
This specimen today, if I can get to the right camera shot, I got so many things queued up that it's hard for me to scroll around and find stuff, is just $1,250.
Yep. That's a great deal for
It
an
is.
Ettringite of that size.
That size, yep.
It's a little bit intergrown with some of the calcite matrix, but a nice yellow color, well-formed Ettringite crystal, and they hardly ever get this size. This is exceptional for its size.
Yep.
If you're a cabinet-sized mineral collector, this is over 3 inches tall, and it's a major Ettringite. And for only $1,250, it's a steal.
Yep.
So Richard be happy to send this out to you.
Yep.
You can reach him at minerals@collectorsedge.com. Tell him you're interested in that piece, and he will send it out to you at no cost for the shipping on the outbound leg.
Absolutely. And that brings us to specimen number 2.
This is a pretty piece.
Love it. Love it.
This is out of a collection from Florida that we just recently acquired. And I'll slaughter the name. I think it's Margabal Mine in France. It's a full-size miniature specimen in great condition, and it's metatorbernite. So it is a uranium-bearing mineral. You will not be able to ship this overseas, but Richard thinks we can get it to you here domestically.
Contiguous 48 shouldn't be a problem.
Good.
We'll see.
Outstanding.
The metatorbernite crystals are up to 1.1 centimeters on edge, and you see it's got a very vibrant color when you see it in person. It's a little bit, in the still photo, it may be a little bit more to the blue hue than you see it in the lighting here in his office. It's a little more to the green.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty true to life on the pedestal there.
Yeah.
On the spinning around. And, if you really were digging those fluorescent pictures earlier, it's definitely one that will fluoresce for you.
Yep, this
I
one
wonder,
will
do
glow.
you think we can see over the light?
Quite possibly.
If we hit it with a little UV, do you think we can get any
Let's see if
response?
we'll wait for it to swing around here. And
Yeah. I mean, if you're in this room, you can see that glowing like a son of a gun.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's really, yeah, it isn't as impactful on video,
right?
Yeah.
but it really really glows like crazy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Lights on.
Yeah.
Lights off.
Really glows.
We're getting
like
help from
crazy.
Mr. Sutton here.
Mr. Graham Sutton, the
Yep.
promoter of the
Mineral City shows.
Mineral City shows
Which is
And
actually even
conserver of electricity.
and conserver of
which
electricity.
is actually even expanding its footprint out a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the subject at hand.
Yeah.
So how much are we looking at for this
Look at those
beautiful
beautiful crystals.
tornite?
Let's give them the size. It's a 5 by 5 by 3.5 centimeter
Yep.
specimen.
Full size miniature.
Yep.
1.1 centimeter on edge
Yep.
is the individual crystal groups,
Yep.
and
And the price is $1,200. I think somebody's calling in already
yeah,
to buy the rock. Could be.
can we help you?
Yes. Fortunately, that'll go to voicemail in a second. We don't want to interrupt the whole show. That'll bring us to specimen number 3.
Yep. And this is another species you don't often see on
Minerals
Live.
Yep.
Yeah, you really went for the rare ones today.
He did.
Well,
Legrandite
I went crazy.
from the Uela mine in
Yep.
Mapami, Durango, Mexico. And this is a nice cluster on matrix. You see it's kind of captured inside the vug in which it occurred.
Right.
And is this also from that collection in Florida?
It is.
Yeah, how fun.
Yep.
This is just a beautiful piece. Just recently acquired by the company. Again, this is a box buster miniature. What's the size of this one, Rich?
This one measures 5 by 6.7 by 3.1 centimeters.
Yep, so the 6.7 wide is a little more than a miniature.
Right.
The area of the Legrandite is 2.7 centimeters tall, and there's a number of crystals in subparallel growth there. That's really a beautiful specimen of Legrandite.
Yep.
And it very well terminated, so it was nicely protected in the vug there in
Right.
on matrix.
Yep.
And that's one of the classic species from Mexico. If you were to look at what are some of the ones that people talk about the most, there's the blue scordite crystals that people love. There's rhodochrosite from several different localities. But when you talk about the Mapami area, you want a Legrandite. That's the top of the heap
Right.
for mineral species there. So
Yep.
just beautiful, beautiful specimen of
Absolutely.
Legrandite.
Absolutely.
And what's the price on this guy, Rich?
This one is coming in today at, drum roll please, thank you, $6,000. A little more expensive than we normally present on the Minerals Live, but I thought everybody'd like to see it.
Man, it's a beautiful piece.
Yep.
I'm really glad you shot it because I've got even a greater appreciation of how good this piece is with these nice close-ups.
Well, and the thing that I love about getting pieces from really nice collections like this is like it's pre-curated for you.
Exactly.
You know, they selected some really nice pieces. It's really
Yep.
good to see those.
It's
Absolutely.
lovely.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll just slide right on to specimen number 4, which happens to be from the same collection.
Ah, well, how fun.
Yep.
Sensing a theme.
The guy who who built this collection was a collecting partner of Dick Graham, a famous collector from Arizona. And this is a malachite after azurite from Bisbee, Cochise County in Arizona. And any of you who know the stories about Dick Graham, he was probably the leading collector of specimens from Bisbee. And so
I believe there were a lot of memorial
Yes.
displays to him at the Tucson show.
Tucson
Like
show.
many
That's
displays to
right.
him this year.
And so this is a good size miniature specimen with a really nicely pseudomorphed malachite after azurite classic form from Bisbee.
Yep. They're coming in at 5.5 by 3.5 centimeters.
And the little malachite pseudomorph there measures 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch tall on the matrix. Just a really handsome piece. And for a Bisbee, a classic Bisbee specimen to come in at under $1,000 is not common. Right. So this is fun to see. You can get this at what price, Rich?
$975.
That's great.
Yep. So definitely want to shop early and often, as Graham would say, for this one.
Yep. Beautiful piece.
Yep. Let me see if we can get out of here. Move on to specimen number 5, which I think Christopher might like.
Yeah.
It is a gem.
Yep. And this is actually one of my sub-collections in my set as well.
Wow.
Okay.
Colors of Zoecite. I've got in faceted gemstones, which I've collected for quite a long time. I have pretty much every color of the rainbow, from bubblegum pink to pinkish orange, greens, yellows, blues, even completely colorless in Zoecite. So
Gotcha.
This bicolor one is one that is very tempting to me. But of course, I always have to give everybody else a first crack at it. But if it sits around too long, I will buy it.
Yeah, and
it's fun to get these bicolor ones. You're so used to seeing the crystals being the normal blue to purple transition in color, and to see the what is it, slightly yellowish at
yellow
the tip.
green.
Yellow green.
Yep.
Just lovely and really well formed. You see the beautiful luster on this crystal. From whence did this come? Was this out of the Tanzanite 1 collection?
No, this is one of that older batch.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Which one of the things that's always a claim to fame for Tanzanite and Zoecite in general is that it's a trichroic specimen, or a trichroic mineral, which means you can see 3 different colors in 3 different positions as the light goes through it. Technically, since this one's bicolor, I'd say this would be a hexachroic crystal.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Throwing it out there for you. All I know is it's pretty.
It's a pretty
rock. Yep.
Highly lustrous.
Yeah.
Great
it looks
form
like
on that one.
Yeah. Really nice
super
little piece.
form. What's the size of this one, Rich?
It's 3.7 by 1.7 by 1 centimeter.
And I've heard tell that the Tanzanian government has prohibited the export of uncut Tanzanite.
Yes.
And so it may be there's no way to demonstrate this for the future, whether they'll change their minds or whatever. You know how governments are. But for the time being, what's out there in the world of Tanzanite specimens may be a shrinking pool of pieces, because the new production may not be able to come out as uncut specimens.
Hopefully somebody will talk to them. I've actually got a friend who's kind of connected there, and I'd like to make the case that the rough has to be cut into gemstones to try to recover the beauty of what nature produces when we get a fine, intact crystal like this. So if they're looking to have they don't want uncut material to leave the country, because they want to maximize the value that's staying in country, and you don't want to sell the rough and then have somebody increase the value and that happen outside of the country. Crystals like this, you're not going to increase the value of it. The value is already there as the crystal it exists in, and so hopefully they will make an exception for specimen grade pieces like this.
And one of the things that points that out is some of the incredible Medina aquamarine specimens that we had on display at the Tucson Fine Mineral Show. We asked several very sophisticated cutters of gemstones, how do you value this as gem rough as opposed to the uniqueness of these few in number large Medina aquamarine specimens that came out? And after that discussion, it was clear that it would not make any sense to cut these superb aquamarine crystals for gemstones, because you'd get a fraction of the cut value out of it that you get in the specimen value. So at the end of the day, it's probably true with the tanzanite as well, that their specimen value far outweighs what they would get if they cut it into little gemstones.
Right.
So,
So,
Although that one wouldn't be a little gemstone. That's a big crystal.
That's a big crystal.
Yeah.
But this guy today is just $1,200. Seems to be a running theme of the show.
Yeah.
With the exception of the whale apiece. Anyway. $1,200 takes us home today. Absolutely. And the shipping is free on the outbound leg, as Steve said.
Send Richard an email, minerals@collectorsedge.com, for any of these you want to own.
Yep. And coming in at specimen number 6.
Oh, you're just coming in on Alan's coattails.
Well, we're riding that.
Yep. Rhodochrosite.
I think I have a history of having Sweet Home specimens on the show here.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
So I can't.
From the Colorado Springs pocket,
Right.
which I had never heard of, at the Sweet Home mine. So, do we know anything about the Colorado Springs pocket?
I would really like to see a list. I'm going to have to try to get this from Brian. A list of all the pocket names and why in some cases. Because some are
the why of
self-evident,
this-
some are...
Yeah, the why of this would be interesting, because I have no idea. This had to have come out before I started working here. So it's probably in the first few years of the mine.
Yep. Probably there was a group of people from the Colorado Springs Club there that day when they found it.
That could be.
That'd be my best guess.
Yeah.
Best
Well,
guess.
we'll come up with some other reasons why you'd call this Colorado Springs. But it's a lovely specimen. It's a full-size miniature. What's the size of this one, Rich?
Comes in at 5 by 4.5 by 4 centimeters.
And it shows the great cherry red color in the Sweet Home crystals.
Right.
And really nice needle quartz in association and some sulfide mineralization. I
Right.
can't tell from a distance whether this is sphalerite or tetrahedrite.
Hit it with a UV.
But,
Yep.
But one or the other, and it's nice, another nice color contrast.
Right.
Very pretty piece.
Very nice little piece.
Yeah. On matrix, good size ROM.
Great size
The
ROM,
roto is 3.5 centimeters on edge, so it's over an inch. So nice big crystal.
Yep.
And if you're looking for a rhodochrosite to add to your collection, you couldn't go wrong with this piece. It's
Not
a
at all.
lovely specimen.
I was going to guess it was going to be in the neighborhood of 1,200. A little north on that.
Just a little north. This one, unfortunately, is 1,500.
Yeah.
Still.
But if you buy the entire 6 specimens, I'll make this one 1,200.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you
Boom.
There you go. All right.
That's a good deal.
Yep. We try to help out our guests here at On Minerals Live. And I did kind of notice, I think we omitted on the second pass through on the show, since we didn't have a microphone the first time we tried to record the show. Where did that go? We omitted showing this.
Oh, yeah. This big boy.
Yes.
Yeah, real.
Well,
This was in our gallery at the Tucson Fine Mineral Gallery. Quite an aquamarine specimen.
it really is.
I think.
And this is, what, a couple feet tall?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing piece.
Just a beautiful specimen. A
Yep.
couple little clusters. It's from Nagar in Pakistan on muscovite. Just a beautiful, beautiful specimen. If you're looking for a world-class mineral specimen as a decorator item in your home, if you have a niche in your home or office that you want a breathtaking mineral specimen to fill, we'd be happy to deliver this to you.
I still say somebody needs to start a GoFundMe to get this into a museum.
Yeah,
I agree.
there's several museums that have an interest in it, so we'll see.
Yep. So, anyway, moving along. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Minerals Live. We appreciate your stopping in. Hopefully that you were titillated enough to want to come to next year's Tucson show.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And Steve maybe hooked you into even coming to the Hard Rock Summit here in Denver, Colorado this September.
We'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Look forward to seeing you again on Minerals Live.
Yep, coming up soon.
And don't forget about bolo ties.
Yes. If you come to the Hard Rock Summit, wear a bolo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Christopher will love you.
Yep, for sure.
And unfortunately, Steve will not be with us for the Hard Rock Summit this year.
But I'll be visiting.
Well, not confined to the Collector's Edge booth. This year, if you come out to the Hard Rock Summit, you will see Steve Behling everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes, you will.
Omnipresent, or a big banner across.
There may be.
Yeah.
There may be a banner
Right.
suitable for throwing darts at somewhere.
But unfortunately, he is retiring from the Collector's Edge on April 30th. So, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next Minerals Live.
Okay. Take care, everybody. We'll catch you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.